Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this review, I'm going to discuss the 1973 Best Picture winner, The Sting, starring Robert Redford, Paul Newman, Robert Shaw, and Charles Durning. Of course, this movie, and I also saw Annie Brennan. Of course, this movie was the movie that came out in between the two Godfather films and winning the Best Picture for 1973. Of course, this movie is iconic because it stars Robert Redford and Paul Newman. I might be wrong, but I think this is the first movie they starred together since Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I think they only did like maybe 2 or 3 movies together, the two of them. So they reunited before 4 years after they did Butch Cassidy to do this thing. Of course, this movie is it's rather a simple plot, really. It's not that complicated a plot. It stars Robert Redford and Paul Newman as two Depression-era conmen who decides to con the biggest criminal in Chicago, who was played by Robert Shaw. And it was like a long, drawn-out process on how they could set up this con, and which eventually, well, I'm not going to give it how they did it, but they did pull a con on Robert Shaw's character, and they did pull it off. The reason why they decided to con Robert Shaw's character was because Robert Redford was working with another con man who was black, and actually, of course, he had a lot of racial stuff with that, because the movie takes place in the 1930s. So Robert Redford was to take revenge on this guy, on Robert Shaw's character, for putting a hit on Robert Redford's friend. So Robert Redford recruits Paul Newman to help him set up this con, and which of course Paul Newman eventually does. He ends up doing it, and of course they set this whole thing up. I also mentioned Roy Walston, who was in My Favorite Martian and Damn Yankees and a bunch of other South Pacific, was also in this movie. So it's great to see him in another movie. And it's, of course, there's all great character actors in this film. And of course, the other thing that sets the movie The Sting apart is, of course, the music. You know, the theme song was called The Entertainer, and that's the only thing I knew from this movie was the theme music, and that's it. Then, the plot, anything else, except the story Redford and Newman, and that's it. And they con Robert Shaw. But the movie itself, I think it's an iconic film, not because of the actors who were involved in it, and the fact that it was an Academy Award-winning film. Of course, it was also one of those movies, one of those Oscar-winning films you could watch and you can say, I can't believe this movie won for Best Picture. Because you have so many movies, particularly in more recent years, that you can say, hey, I can't believe this movie won for Best Picture. And that's the feeling I had with this film. And you can say that about a lot of movies, especially the ones I've already reviewed, is you can't believe this one won, or you can't believe this one won, or that one won. And that's how I felt when I was watching this movie. And I can't believe this movie won. That's the feeling that I had. And except for the actors who were involved, the movie was like crazy and making the con man with a heart of gold. That's what Redford was. That's how Paul Newman was in this film. Con man with a heart of gold. And I'm like, that's what they come up with as an Oscar-winning film, and that's what that's what they came up with. But as a film, I thought it was an entertaining enough film, and it's one of those films you have to try to figure out who was involved in this kind of how elaborate this con was, and trying to build money out of Robert Shaw's character. But it is kind of fun to watch and entertaining to watch for what it was. and you can scratch one off your list if you are interested in seeing films that actually won the Oscar for Best Picture. So that's my review of the movie The Sting. Please click on the video, please rate it. Feel free. Sorry, you can't comment on my videos anymore. Please subscribe to my channel and please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com. It's over WDY, and that's c.com. At the homepage is a Rally Reviewer. If you're seeing more, please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.